No one wants to be around when the system fails. The system will fail, okay? And that is why you need Bitcoin. Bitcoin is insurance against the system failing.
Hey guys, welcome back to Library of Wealth. Today we hear from former hedge fund manager and Bitcoin maximalist Greg Foss as he gives us his prediction for Bitcoin for 2022. In what he calls a failing financial system, Foss discusses how Bitcoin will outlast the fiat money system as the value of the dollar continues to decline. Although the futures market may have played a role in some of Bitcoin's recent price volatility, decreasing fiat currencies will eventually act as a catalyst for Bitcoin to rise. He predicts Bitcoin's market cap will overtake gold once it becomes a preferred store of value. Greg Foss talks about how the de-dollarization of fiat money, as well as the surge in money printing, will affect Bitcoin's future. Let's listen to the interview with Greg Foss as he gives his prediction for Bitcoin and for the current financial market. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button if you like the content we do here on this channel. Let's get right into the video.
Look, if you are getting sick by the price of the volatility of Bitcoin, the price volatility of Bitcoin, you own too much. Let's say you own 5% of your portfolio in Bitcoin. It's like you forget what the other 95% is in, and you just focus on this 5%. Like, people, put it away. Let's talk in 20 years. If you disciplined investing is not getting shaken out by short-term price moves. And if you do get shaken out, it means you put too much in. You got to figure out what your meter is. And there's guys who are comfortable being 100% exposed. That's not me. That's too big for me. Your emotion will lead you to making the worst trades you've ever made in your life if you listen to your emotion rather than to logic. And if you're trading on emotion, I promise I know how this ends, you end up with nothing, because emotion is the enemy of proper risk management. The best place to own Bitcoin is in your safe, in a cold wallet or in cold storage, and you just have them there and you say, I have this many, and that's how many I have. And you don't convert them to fiat dollars in your idiot brain. You just say, I have 0.x or X or 10x Bitcoin saved up, and I'll talk to you in 20 years. And you try and not look or think of it in the fiat world where everything has to be valued in US dollars or whatever. That is not reality. That is the Ponzi. That is how they suck you in, get you to continuously work for a system that doesn't solve itself. When you're in a debt spiral like we are, it requires people consuming in the short term at the expense of their long-term vision and their long-term goals or their long-term monetary energy.
According to Foss, the central bank's demise, combined with the printing of money, will inevitably lead to a collapse. He explains how he determines the path Bitcoin will take and what the crypto market will look like very soon.
Why Bitcoin only, and why not diversify that aspect of your portfolio as well?
So I need to be real careful here. Yes, I am a Bitcoin maximalist. Do I believe that there will be other tokens or coins that succeed? Yes. None of them will solve the fiat Ponzi, therefore I don't care about them. And secondly, I can also get similar type of risk in the equity markets where I have much more comfort than trading in the altcoin markets, okay? I'm in Bitcoin very simply because I don't trust the fiat Ponzi. And there's no other coin or token out there that is truly decentralized that can give me the comfort that I get from owning Bitcoin. Here's advice. And I'm not saying for people to over-lever, but don't own bonds and borrow against your assets to the extent that the banks will let you borrow against these assets, or to the extent that you're comfortable leveraging your assets, because you're supposed to borrow money when interest rates are at historical lows. And you're supposed to borrow money today. You borrow $100, and in 10 years, you pay the bank back that same $100 that's only worth $40. It's the flip side. You don't want to be a lender, you want to be a borrower. Don't over-lever yourself and don't use credit card debt. You use low coupon fixed debt. And it's the same advice that any CFO who runs a publicly traded company that could borrow money to put the proceeds into Bitcoin, it's exactly what that CFO should be doing as well, okay?
So what do you think is holding America back from
They're
getting?
scared, right? They believe that they want control. That's why they did a futures-based ETF, because they can control and regulate the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, where the futures are traded, or the CBOE. They don't feel comfortable enough to say that the unregulated black hole where Bitcoin trades, they can properly regulate. I believe it's wrong. I believe the OSC made the right decision. But hey, there's a lot of politics in the USA too, right? The Elizabeth Warrens of the world, who people actually think has a brain. That's unfortunate, but that's what you get. You'll get the haters, the lovers, the haters, people that want to control your lives versus people that want to allow freedom. That's an age-old battle. No one wants to be around when the system fails. The system will fail, okay? And that is why you need Bitcoin. Bitcoin is insurance against the system failing. And each successive financial crisis gets worse, and each successive financial crisis gets more, is shorter duration, meaning the 2009 financial crisis took about 2 years to unfold. Okay, Foss, how much Bitcoin do you own? I'm at 40% of my portfolio. Everything that I have, real estate, what other things do I own? I mentioned commodities, cars, a couple of cars, but they're not vintage cars. They're just cars. They're a depreciating asset as well, but you need a car. Point is, there's a lot of Bitcoin maxis out there that are 100% all in Bitcoin. I'm not going to say they're wrong. I just don't think you need to go to that extreme in order to participate in the upside of this asymmetry. And by the way, that upside is, in my opinion, probable, but not 100% certain. So you can't be all in on something you're not 100% certain on. And you don't need to be. That's the greatest thing. Because if Bitcoin goes up by 50 times, which I think it will, just to attain its fair value, that's 50 times. It's sort of like the Peter Schiff example. All you have to do is put, 2% of your portfolio in Bitcoin. It goes up 50 times. Your entire portfolio has doubled just because of one position that you added 2% exposure to, that's now up to 100%, or it doubled the value of your whole portfolio. So that's how you manage risk, people. You manage risk based on probabilities, expected values. When the information changes, you change your strategy. Now, this is the problem with Shifty Pete. The information continued to change, and he never changed his investment strategy. In fact, he doubled down by saying it's now worse. He is on record so often to say, Bitcoin will never attain this price. Okay, it attained that price. Then he just jacks up his price. Bitcoin will never attain that price. And he's gone on record so many times. I guarantee you Bitcoin will never reach $10,000 a Bitcoin. You, Shifty Pete, for being such a conflicted, risk allocator. You have cost so many people so much money, and that's just unforgivable. So you got to call out that clown. Okay, you have clowns in government, you have clowns in portfolio management, and you got to call them out. I don't want my kids, who I encourage to make their own decisions, having to listen to the drivel coming out of Peter Schiff's mouth and thinking that he actually knows what he's talking about. He doesn't. And that's why you have to call out these people. I think I have the experience that allows me to do this. I'm not some 25-year-old student that just graduated from university and thinks that I know everything. I've been sitting in the real world, managing risk for over 30 years, okay? And I've seen some stuff. And you don't learn that in a textbook. You actually learn it by sitting, as I say, in the proverbial risk chair, where you're sick to your stomach because you think that you are about to lose not just your job, but all of your clients' hard-earned money because you may be on the wrong side of a trade. That teaches you stuff that you can't learn in a textbook, pure and simple.
Greg Foss believes that the European Central Bank will soon be dissolved and that something else will take its place, and that it won't necessarily be called a crash. He claims it will be rebranded as a reset or a bailout, similar to what happened in 2008 with Lehman Brothers and Bear Stearns, which is one of the worst market crashes we've seen in recent history. Despite market volatility, Foss still sees Bitcoin hitting a minimum of $2 million in the near future. Time will tell how soon these things happen, but what are your thoughts? Do you agree with Greg Foss's forecast for Bitcoin in 2022? Comment down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. This is Library of Wealth. We'll see you in the next video.